Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, all of the best things come in threes. And we're talking about live events. On Monday, if you were a creator who likes to use computers, then you have your MacBook Pro or MacBook Max. If you are a mobile creator, then you now have the Pixel 6 that you can use for creating content. But what about growing your YouTube channel? Well, that's where this live event comes into play. Every single Tuesday, you are here with a vidIQ channel audit live stream. And what we do is we invite you into our house, our forum, our education classroom to share our knowledge, our wisdom, our experience, our passion for growing YouTube channels, which will hopefully help you get to your next YouTube goals. But I am just merely a humble servant, a messenger, a conduit for all of the wonderful, amazing, intelligent guests that we have on every single week, starting with Dan the Man. Hey, how are you doing, Dan? Welcome to the Channel Audit live streams, as always.
Glad to be here. How are you?
I am so glad that you are here with me. And now coming in with his very quick Pixel 6 report. He currently has one in his basket. Is he going to buy one? Travis?
Hey, hi, everybody. I'm back. They didn't get rid of me. Or at least they tried to, but they couldn't.
You just took a week off, Travis. I'm trying to rotate now because we have so many crew members on.
They tried to get rid of me, but I have pictures of things they don't want to get out.
All right, yeah, that's very, very true. Who are the pictures of it again? Just remind me.
Mostly Dan.
Yeah, I thought so. Have you bought the Pixel 6 or not?
I couldn't. The website was down.
Oh, that's a shame. And the Xbox refrigerator?
Let's not talk about that.
All right, let's not talk about that. Instead, let's bring on our very, very special guest. Joining us for his second appearance as a channel auditor, it is Sean Cannell from Think Media. Welcome back, Sean.
He's muted.
Lots of muting going on here, Sean.
Hey, excited to be here.
There we go.
And I got my MacBook Pro in the cart right now with an 8 terabyte hard drive. It's only $6,000. So I sold my car and I'm going to be paying it off for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
I think what's also amazing as well is that the vidIQ channel audit live streams always has technical errors. And it feels as if it's infectious because usually, Sean, you're perfect with everything. For once,
and I just completely bombed right at the top of the stream. Hey, it's one of those days.
We do it all. Let's welcome some of our awesome community into the live stream. Very quick hellos. I'm going to start with Crime with M. Woot woot to you. We're going to say hello to Kubi Nin Juan in the house. Jenny's vlog. A lot of people saying hello to Sean here. This is awesome. Sean, of course, from Think Media. Goeco is also saying hello. And also Koi Fish Gaming. Ahoy there, sailors. Dan, who are you saying hello to?
I will say hello to WR Gaming. The Burke Alar show. Something. Excuse my mispronunciation there. We have short reviews here. They changed their avatar. I noticed that immediately. We have MaskCon, and how about Oslo All a lot? Why did I make it a name I couldn't read? That was the last one.
Travis.
I butchered it.
Terrible. Christina Smallhorn in the house. I see you. Wild Nature Southwest. We got Debu Das. We have I saw the Nathan something. Hughes Gaming Theater and Foes. And Minecraft Transformers, which means if you like Minecraft or Transformers.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool channel already. I feel as if I want to visit that one. And Sean, so I always put a guest on the spot, but if you do have a chat up, say hello, or I'll bring some people up on the chat that you can say hello to.
Man, it's great to see. Excellent, dude. Full of coffee and ready to go, as am I. Cheers this morning. Hey, what are you drinking, vidIQ? Drop in the comments. I actually have some electrolytes here. What are you guys drinking? I got a little bit of sports drink ready for the stream. Merry Christmas, Matt. Hey, yeah, early Merry Christmas. Good to
only
see you
100 days
well,
to go,
Matt.
but sure.
And Raid Alibi, Think Media fam, really good to see you. Thanks for coming over to the stream today. We're sharing this out right now on our socials because we're so fired up. It's gonna be a fun stream.
Awesome. Well, hello to everybody. As always, do let us know as well if you are new to the live stream in the chat or you're one of those original gangsters. Either way, you all need to know how this live stream is going to operate for the next couple of hours. So here is your 60-second explainer. Welcome to the vidIQ channel audit livestream, where we review your YouTube channels. There are 2 links in the description, one for gaming channels, one for non-gaming channels. Make sure you submit every week as we clear the form after every livestream. Channel audits are 100% free, so please don't send us any super chats expecting to receive an audit. And don't waste your time asking for one in the chat. If there are any alternative ways to get picked for an audit, such as memes, we will let you know during the livestream. If we can't audit your channel today, vidIQ has a channel audit tool working 24/7 for you. If you haven't already installed vidIQ, download it now for free. A link is in the description, and make sure to take advantage of our free 30-day trial. If you submit your channel for audit, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, our experience, and our passion as fellow YouTube creators. It's up to you whether or not you take our advice. There are tons of links to lots of useful resources in the video description. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Share this live stream with another fellow creator who may find it useful. And finally, moderators, thank you for everything that you do every single week. All right, let's do this. And the final bits of housekeeping are that we continue to support the COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund via Super Chat. So any Super Chat goes directly to that very good cause. Thank you in advance for that. We get hundreds of channel submissions every single week, and unfortunately we can't cover you all. So what I recommend you do, if possible right now, is if you have a second screen, make sure to load up your channel there. And as we're talking through gaming channels, fishing channels, tech channels, automotive channels, we talk about many fundamentals, thumbnails, channel focus, consistency. How does all of this apply to your channel? And of course, we are not just a channel audit service. We have a suite of awesome tools that are going to help you every single day to grow your channel. For example, I'm just going to ask the crew here, has anybody watched Squid Game yet?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is the big phenomenon right now on Netflix. I'm not going to spoil it. I thought it was all right. You know, not brilliant, but I thought it was okay.
Captions or dubbing?
I had to
So I did the dubbing. I did the dubbing version, and it was a little strange for like the first 10 minutes, but then I got used to it.
Did you watch Borderland after that? Because it's kind of similar-ish.
What's that, Travis?
It's called Alice in Borderland. Essentially, it's what Squid Games kind of is, but it was made a year beforehand. So if you liked Squid Games, go check out Alice in Borderland on Netflix.
A Korean show as well.
It's Japanese, and it's kind of a same thing where there's game show stuffs, and you better win.
You better win.
You better win. The same thing. We're going to Squid Games channel audit today.
Yeah, channel audits and TV recommendations here at vidIQ. But what I wanted to show you was our trend alerts tool. Not that one, sorry. The most viewed tool. Because if you look here, I've done a quick search for Squid Game, and I've filtered it by channels that are less than 1,000 subscribers. And so these are all of the channels that are jumping on this trend and getting explosive growth after. I mean, you look at this channel at the top here with 774 subscribers. They're getting 6,000 views per hour from Squid Game right now, and a 500,000 view video. Incredible. As a creator who's maybe looking to see what's trending on YouTube right now, and I'm a small channel, this is proof that no matter the size of your channel, you can grow if you target the right topics and the right trends. So this is the most viewed tool, and there's plenty of people really taking advantage of this Squid Game phenomenon right now. But you've got to be quick. I would say in a week, 2 weeks' time, this trend is probably going to fall away, and we'll be all moving on to something else. Maybe the television show that Travis suggested as the next one. So that is the most viewed tool. And right now, we have an incredible offer that is 50% off your first 2 months of either vidIQ Pro or vidIQ Boost, and that is for new customers. I will leave the ticker running along the bottom just to remind you, and there is a link in the description if you want to take advantage of that offer right now. But with all of that being said, what we're going to do now is invite on another guest. Can you believe it? I'm going to just try and fill this entire screen with people. Or actually, we're just going to add one more person. And that is our very special channel audit guest this week. What we're experimenting with is bringing on a person live to do a 10-minute channel audit with him, where we get to talk to him. It's not one-to-one. It's almost like we're teaming up here. It's a 4-on-1 channel audit. But it's good to sort of talk to these creators directly and have a conversation with them. And we're welcoming in today. He's very small at the moment, so I'm just making full screen for a second. It is Tyler from the PU2. Welcome to the channel audit.
Hey guys, glad to be here.
All right, awesome. So I explained the rules just before we went live. You're going to get a 10-minute channel audit. So what we're going to do now is just make you small screen, and then we're going to switch over to your channel, which is the PU2. And I'm going to start the timer. And when I start the timer, Tyler, can you please introduce your channel? And then I'm going to open it up to Dan, Travis, and Sean to start asking you questions and maybe giving you some feedback on the channel. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Tyler, what's the channel about?
So we are a couple who travels to the Orlando area to theme parks and gives people like tips and tricks to help them save money on their vacations to the theme parks.
Awesome. 10,000 subscribers there. I guess that's a recent landmark. Well done to you. And so what do you think, chaps?
I mean, right off the top, I think it's something that we can learn from the channel. I always like to say, let's look at the most popular videos. Success leaves clues, make part 2s. And I think that anybody else in a similar niche or even for their channel, the big question is to ask about taking the, if you will, negative point of view in the positioning of the video, the top video, what not to do when planning a Universal trip. I think that's just interesting as opposed to what to do. You'd think of 5 things you got to do, 10 things you got to do, what not to do. And it sort of, that's definitely a good emotional angle. Do not ride this ride. You can niche it down at blah, blah, blah. Avoid this restaurant when you're at Disney. And those give you some good titles and I think some strong video ideas. And again, just doubling down on that being 5 months ago, video got 70,000 views. I think you could spin off kind of just that, avoid these types of things at the park. And that could be really powerful.
Yeah, it looks like you're doing that here and there, Tyler. Are there any things that you haven't looked at yet in terms of things maybe not to do in a theme park?
Yeah, so we've got like a big list of videos that we have ideas for, and it's more about so like this time of year, what we see is sort of like a downtrend in views because people aren't planning vacations. Like it's kind of like the holiday trend, and then right in January it starts peaking back up. So a lot of those we're going to save till after the first of the year because we think that they will have more traction around that time. But yeah, we've definitely got things like rides. I mean, there's all kinds of restaurants, like y'all mentioned, there's all kinds of things to really reach out into and sort of have like a do not do, because those seem to be some of our more like well performing videos. So
yeah. Dan, Travis, what do you think?
I assume also you talk about where to stay.
Yeah, we talk about, so we've got like hotel stuff. We've got hotel reviews. We talk about places like where to eat, obviously, and then talk about like we rank rides. We do all that stuff. It's just like we just focus on the parks. We don't really have. It's not just about travel. It's just about trying to make everybody's experience better in the parks, like giving them ideas of what to prioritize, things like that. So.
Yeah, I assume when there's like special deals and stuff, you talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to get it out as soon as it happens thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you limited with what kind of camera gear you can bring in?
No. So, I mean, it's a little difficult to do anything extremely heavy, but no, like you go through a security check. They're really good about letting you in with pretty much anything. I mean, we've taken gimbals, we've taken all kinds of stuff into the parks. So.
One thing that could also be an idea. So, October 10th, just a few days ago, you did live Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
A couple thoughts. Not going live so that you can keep the quality higher, because I see that it kind of cuts in and out of quality. And this would be tapping into the idea. I've been recommended a lot. Miami Beach nighttime, like 4K. And this gets recommended when I'm watching my smart TV. And the quality is insane. So you could either like really level up your gear, or you could rent something. But I have, if you did the kind of walkthrough, and the other idea, you could go silent and people could just experience it. Or I think actually the narration would be interesting. But imagine good wide angle lens, really crispy, daytime or nighttime, and people, especially when they aren't traveling, I think long term, the YouTube algorithm would really pick it up, as some people dwell on just like, walk me through the whole park, man. Let me just sit down and eat lunch while I'm experiencing this with you. And that could be a huge, over time, could be a huge AdSense earner, because just let YouTube add multiple spots, or you could force multiple spots. We just check the box that just lets YouTube figure it out. It's usually 3 or 4 ad spots, and then crazy amounts of watch time. And I bet others have done that, but yeah, so not live. And then a real, like 4K in the title as well, like 4K walkthrough 2022 update. And a lot of people, when they're sitting home, you're going to just get crazy watch time from a video like that.
Yeah, we've talked about doing like walkthroughs of each land. It was just more of like a, how do we do it? And there's some ideas that you just gave me that would make sense. It was just more of like a, how do you make it work in a way? So yeah, that really helps.
And just, I mean, 4.5 million views on New York City walking tour part 1. And that was a year ago. So maybe study some of the other walking tours, because it could be silent. There might be music. People just might want to turn it on. But huge key, like wide angle lens and really quality video equipment, because that is the kind of cream that'll rise to the top for those types of videos. 342,000 views on that 8 months. That's strong. 53 minutes. I mean, that's a good one to study right there for sure.
I've watched a number of those for different cities I was looking at, and YouTube started recommending those walking tours without me having to search for them, and they are mesmerizing, especially if you're thinking of somewhere you want to visit or move to. And usually the ones I've seen, no music, no narration, you hear the street noise and things like that. And yeah, I think that would be a really interesting type of content on this channel to test.
Yeah, the issue that we that you do run into in the parks, of course, is all the copyrighted music, and that's just sort of that's like one of the hardest things about filming down there, anyways, is because you have to find like certain locations that aren't really playing anything audible. I mean, you can still hear, of course, like ambient music, but nothing that's copyrighted, and that's one of the biggest issues that we seem to have down there.
Tyler, I have a question about your audience. Where do you get most of your traffic from? Is it through search or is it through browse and suggested?
So it used to be through search. It was very heavily search, which if you look at our titles, like earlier, we were very much search oriented, like just everything was search driven. And now a lot of our traffic is coming through like suggested and things of that nature, homepage, everything like that. So
I asked that because, you know, you have 10,000 subscribers, but the consistency of your audience on every single video is phenomenal. Like 5,000 views, 10,000 views, 5,000 views, 5,000 views. That seems to indicate that your audience is as much affiliated with you, you as a creators, as well as a venue. And when Sean asked me to sort by most popular, the fact that you don't really have what you might call a viral video is almost like a good thing in this case, because you're just so consistent. So I would say the pivot from search to browse and suggested is, you know, well done, excellent work. And I think that's what many creators may want to start to consider once they've established themselves a little bit. They've got some audience. How do they get that audience to stick around? And clearly you're doing that. I mean, to briefly answer, what do you think is making people stay? Because I'm assuming your audience retention is quite high as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think our sort of spin on all of this is we use like our quality versus if you watch some of the other people's, like we really focus on that aspect of it. Like we're taking some heavier equipment in, trying to get that, and it's coming from people who aren't locals. So a lot more people can it resonates with more people because they understand that we travel down there and we go through all the headaches of traveling down to the parks instead of just being able to wake up, drive 10 minutes and get into the parks every day. So
cool. We have 1 minute, 20 seconds. So let's talk, I think, thumbnails for the rest of the time. I mean, are they good? Are they bad? Is there anything that could be improved? Or like, is this a template for other creators?
I think there's some improvements I would like to see personally, just because there's a lot of different elements in each thumbnail that are in focus that I feel like are trying to tell the story of what happened in the video that day. And it makes the thumbnails look a little bit busy. You know, usually, in my opinion, having like up to and no more than 3 things is like where I would be. I like personally having 2 things in focus in the thumbnail, taking up most of the space, but it always depends on the niche. And sometimes I look at some of the thumbnails and it's hard to see what I'm supposed to look at, you know, and that was my first take on that.
Yeah, we heard when y'all audited us like I don't know, it's been 2 weeks ago, I think today, and we tried to draw it back. I believe the next one that came out was like the better when busy. So is visiting Universal now a mistake? So we tried to start limiting it a little bit, and it still worked. Like that's the one part that I really feel like I need to like really level up my game is like thumbnails, because it's still just it's hard to do. So
oh no, we've run out of time. Oh, that is so frustrating. Oh, just imagine if we had an entire hour to discuss your channel or anybody else's channel here at vidIQ. Well, you know what? You can actually do that. What an amazing segue. I'm going to applaud myself there. This is the vidIQ Boost Plus coaching plan that you can take advantage of if you want to speak to Travis. We've also got Alexi on the team and El Jefe, who's very regularly on these channel audits. Travis, you just want to tell us a little bit more about, you know, what we just teased there and where we take creators on their one-to-one channel audits?
Yeah, one of the biggest differences between what you just saw and what kind of happens for the hours, we also take a look at your analytics and figure out exactly what's working, what isn't working, and what type of things you can improve upon using data-driven decisions. So lots of in-depth talk, and I know a lot of people are really excited to get their channel out of it, where they want to know, okay, well, what's next? And that's kind of what coaching is.
And we have many creators who we've sort of guided them from like the very beginning of their journey almost to like turning their channels into business empires.
Yeah, it's been really exciting to be part of some of these creators' journeys, and really super excited to have what I think will be my first 1 million subscriber channel at 4,000. Where are they at now? Super Squad Gaming is now at 951,000. They were at 4,000 subscribers when we started just over a year ago. So
wow, awesome stuff. So there you are. Travis can guide you to 1 million subscribers.
No.
Well, Travis, vidIQ is very close to 1 million subscribers. What do we need to do to get over the final hurdle?
Less Dan, more Savage. You know what you need? The Emily and Savage show is what you need. That'll get you straight.
All right, okay. Tyler, thank you very much for your time. I hope you found that brief channel audit useful, and hopefully we can see you continue to succeed and on the road to 100,000 subscribers maybe this time next year.
Thank you all so much.
Take care. All right, so that is Tyler done and dusted. Now we're going to go to your channel audits, the ones that you submitted before the live stream. And we always look at the first channel that's submitted every single week. And that channel is the Fly Fishing Filmmaker. Yeah, we're going to be going all over the YouTube landscape here with different types of channels. And I know, Dan, you always seem to have a little bit of an affinity for these types of fishing channels to kick us off. So approaching 1,000 subscribers, what do you think of this one?
I really like the banner, and I like the channel name too, the Fly Fishing Filmmaker. And let's see, they're about to hit 1,000 subscribers, which is also really awesome to see. Testing out some shorts. Testing out quite a few shorts. Let's see here. And then it looks like also live streams. So kind of doing a little bit of everything. Can we look at the most popular content?
Yes, we can.
Okay. First trip to St. Joe River Part 1. Okay, so 12,000 views a couple of years ago. All right. So in the last year or so, nothing really like exploding. They've also had a couple other different types of videos on the channel. Oh, and they just uploaded
not many videos recently as well, although they just literally launched one 5 minutes ago.
So I would be curious to see how, like, I wish I could just see their shorts alone and see if any of those have like really blown up.
Yeah.
And here's one of the pieces of advice I've heard given to fishing channels that has apparently been proven to work for them. The one thing you can do for your thumbnails on a fishing channel is show the catch. If you caught something that day, make that the thumbnail. Whatever the video's about, because it's always going to be about fishing to some degree. That's like the first bit of advice I have for your thumbnails, because while these look great, some of the photos are awesome. I could see hanging some of these on your wall, because they're so nice. But the problem is, these don't make for the best YouTube thumbnails. Sometimes the text is really, really, really small, hard to read, hard to see what's going on, and it looks like it's repeating the title as well. I wouldn't be doing any text on these at all. If you were to look at other fishing channels, you'd see a lot of examples of kind of what we're talking about here, where there's not a lot of text. Usually it's all about the catch of the day in that thumbnail, and people are going to want to watch that. They're going to want to see, how the heck did you reel that in, or they caught that, maybe they caught some other stuff too that day. I got to see more. Now that's thumbnails. You're doing a lot with shorts, and I guess that's the one thing that's kind of throwing me right now, because I'm trying to think. I feel like fishing shorts could be good if you were to just do a bunch of clips strung together of catches of the day, right? Maybe it's part of a longer video. You make the longer video, you put it out there, and then you cut the best catches into like a little montage and put that as shorts. But I think that's what shorts need to be, right? They need to be really like, you're swiping through these things, there needs to be some action. They need to be exciting. And we're not looking at them right now, so we don't know what they are, but that's my advice for shorts for sure.
Dan, if we double down on that, just the top short has 4,000 views, and it's about a catch, and it has a catch in the first frame. It says junk flies catch big fish. And so I think, just to emphasize that point, a lot of the thumbnails are a lake or are rocks or are really kind of spaced out, and there's not a lot to see beyond the catch. Like this, for everybody watching, what's the hero? What is the end state the viewer wants to be in? What is the dream? What is the promise and payoff that the viewer would want? It could be the catch. It also could be the dream reel, the dream lure. It could be like, this lure, achieved this result. And I like the idea of, especially the top viewed video, being filmmaking, being more serene, or being more storytelling. And that's the kind of thing that could make the channel sticky. Omar and the Think team loves this golf channel that creates cinematic, more filmmaking based kind of golf information. So it's packaged in that, but nevertheless, I think still leading with click-through rate and that high desire around subject matter that people that like to fish would want: the catch, the dream reel, the dream location, and how do you show that? And that's a huge insight about having the payoff kind of right up front.
As a
Awesome
viewer looking for one of these videos, I have to imagine they're looking to be impressed, and the filmmaking aspect of it, like Sean said, is the stickiness of it. That's what the quality is going to keep people coming back for more. But at the end of the day, like, I think you gotta step forward with the action. And that's where this advice of like present the catch in the thumbnail comes in, because you're basically promising the viewer in that video something that is probably in the video as it is. You just didn't put it in the thumbnail. The catch, you've caught something, and there's going to be a lot to see. That's why they want to watch.
Absolutely, some awesome advice there on I guess the pitch of the title and the thumbnail to the viewer. The element of the catch is certainly the hero in most fishing channels. That was the first non-gaming channel that submitted. We are now going to move on to the first gaming channel that submitted this week, and they are called Trees. I think I'm going to pronounce that channel as. Congratulations on 500 subscribers. You should be getting your community tab very, very soon. And this looks like one of these car video game channels where sometimes you look at the thumbnails and say, is that actually real or not? I'm getting the gaming vibe here, though. Again, Dan, I'm going to have to throw to you as a gaming expert here.
That's a term I would use loosely here. Let's see. Automation. Can you scroll over to a title just so I can see the name of the game? Looks like they're putting it at the end of a title. Any title. Yeah.
So Automation, the car company tycoon game, I think it's called.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think the name of the game is Automation, the car company tycoon game, or something similar.
Okay. Yeah, they did a good thing by putting that at the end of the title. Automation, the car company tycoon game in Beam NG. Oh, okay. I've heard of BeamNG. I didn't know anything about it. So I'm guessing similar to Roblox, this is a platform where people are creating other automotive games within the platform of BeamNG.
Right.
That's very loosely based off context here, so I could be way wrong. But let's put that aside for a second. I like what they're doing with the thumbnails. It looks like what they're doing is giving you the focus of the video, filling the frame with it. They throw some text in, but the text isn't super important, so they kind of hide it behind the thing. I think that can, if used right, create a little bit of intrigue. So I like what we're seeing here. Views are really consistent. And let's see, the most torque in an inline 5 engine ever. I wonder if they're a bit wordy, the titles. So like, I think about a game where you're building a car and you're building an engine with a lot of torque. What's the effect of that? When you put that engine in the car, I'm assuming you can drive these cars around after the fact. So let's just say you can. What happened when you gave it the most torque ever? And could that have been more the title? Like, too much torque exploded my car in automation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These are rough suggestions because I don't exactly know this game, or you know what I mean? But hopefully you kind of see where I'm going with that. I like this car has hydraulics. I really like that title. And then the thumbnail's great. Car bouncing off the ground. More stuff like that where it's that light bulb moment for me. It clicks immediately. Oh, I know exactly what's going to happen in this video.
Again, I think that's the conversation of maybe when you're trying to switch from search to more browse and suggested.
True.
There's less search intent, but the thumbnail and the title are complementing each other more for a more for a better type of video there. What else do we think, Sean and Travis? If you have any thoughts here,
let's check most popular.
Sure.
I also, noting the thumbnail style, they use just a simple shadow, right? So the main engine has that shadow behind it. I'm not too familiar with Canva, but I do use Photoshop, and that's a pretty easy technique to learn when creating a thumbnail. And it is a really nice way to create that three-dimensional look of the engine and some isolation on the engine while still having kind of the background graphics. So it makes it not quite too busy. So just kind of echoing that a little bit. But now looking at some of these top ones here.
Yeah, it's specifically engine stuff for the top ones.
The most powerful I'm seeing is I've noticed when I was looking at the titles, they're always using the most, the most smallest powerful engine. That's an interesting use of a title there.
But the most, there's so much the most in the top 10.
Very much doubling down on titling strategy in a lot of these videos.
Yeah. I think you could also try alternates. I mean, that definitely success leaves clues. Rob, what would you say? I mean, it's interesting, keywords can so inform our content. But I heard a tip from Graham Stephan on his podcast, and he said they use a thesaurus and they they think about just 100 different ways to say like the stock market's going crazy, because they just want to use a different word that means the same thing. And sometimes a word that sort of punches people in the face. It's a little bit unique. It kind of creates curiosity. So I would almost take the most, put it in a thesaurus, and see what else you could convey that brings the same kind of energy, but maybe also freshens the energy. And that could be interesting.
Grandest, tremendous, exceptional, superior. That's a Wilson thesaurus working through the word most right there.
Best, the best engine, biggest, and I'm just on a thesaurus actually. So the largest, so size, and this is good YouTube tips in general. A lot of top 5, top 10 channels, the biggest house, the largest water slide. And so those extremes pulling at also that you could go the smallest, like, yeah.
Going back to your advice earlier, and Rob, you just typed it worst. What are some of the worst things you can do?
Yeah, I couldn't find any, I guess, opposites or negatives in that sense. But I think generally speaking, channel seems to be doing pretty well. Healthy views again, nice consistency. Channel is growing. I think the thumbnails are of very high quality. So I'll be looking to see this channel hit 1,000 subscribers in the next couple of months.
Real quick, let's talk community tab. Once you unlock this thing here soon, my advice to anybody just getting the community tab would be to utilize it daily if possible. My preferred formula, especially for gaming channels, this has worked for me. Swapping between an image post and a poll. Once a day, you do something. So image post one day, poll another day. Always make it about your audience. Don't worry so much about asking, hey, what video do you want to see next? Which is, I think, one of the mistakes a lot of people make. They kind of just do that. They just kind of try and talk directly to their audience. Make it about the game. Just make it another type of content you're making about this game, and ask people their opinion on aspects of the game using polls, and show really cool images of things that happened in a video. Perhaps you could take stills, throw them in as square images on community posts. So there's a lot you can do with that. And if you do that, people hit like, people interact with it. Now they're going to be seeing your community posts all the time.
Alrighty, that is Tries. I'm still not sure on the pronunciation of a channel name, but hey, you're doing well, so keep it as is. All right, folks, just in case none of you, or you've been living in some sort of YouTube cave for the past decade, Sean, who are you and what do you do on YouTube?
Yeah, we are helping people with the best tips and tools for growing their influence with online video and YouTube. The tips would be YouTube, strategy, and similar to some of the advice you give on this channel with vidIQ. But the tools side would be, as you can see, office accessories, video editing software, wireless microphones, lighting, created a floating YouTube studio with a very pole pinned between two walls. So we're helping people figure out how to use their smartphone and accessories for that, or how to use which camera is best for YouTube. And it's all from that perspective of content creators. You know, there's other channels, they might get into red Komodo, cameras. That's out of reach of most of us. Or even you get into like a Canon R5. Well, pro photographers are using that and professional videographers are using that, but we're really helping creators. And so it's like, what are the best cameras on a budget? What are the best cameras for the pain points that creators need, like selfie screens, mic inputs, headphone jacks, or things like that? And we're creators ourselves. So we're a team of creators now over there with Omar and Nolan and Heather. And so we are sort of specializing, whether that's in smartphone or camera. And just there's a lot to talk about. There's so much opportunity and there's a lot of cool gear, and people have a lot of questions. So it's all there for you at Think Media.
There's also some terrible gear which you were able to make viral shots out of. I remember this one. Nolan bought the worst camera on the worst 4K camera on Amazon, and look at that, nearly 3 million views in 4 weeks. Awesome.
And really most of those views came in a series of about 5 days of 50,000 views every 60 minutes.
Awesome stuff. Well, the reason I've officially introduced you is because you are going to lead with the next channel audit, and that is going to be ranked. Now, what I like about this channel is that in terms of the value proposition, you see the channel banner, you see the channel name, and instantly I'm either in the wrong place or the right place, because I think this channel is about ranking James Bond films or characters, which I think is brilliant. What do you reckon about this channel, Sean? Why did you choose this one?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that I liked about this channel is just that it illustrates for all of us that we can turn our kind of creativity into a career, and even our passion, like the fact that you can watch movies, sit down, watch movies, and review them, and have it be something that can earn money and really make an impact. If you go to most popular, I find it fascinating that the most viewed video has 18,000 views, and it's almost 2 hours long. And that Moon Ranker one, if we go into it, it's time coded out, and they kind of have a cool way of once you skip past some of the content to where they start reviewing it, they kind of are in this cool black chroma key their faces out around the movie posters as they talk about it. So it would seem the takeaway for me in that is that they're cutting back and forth with fair use content. They're leveraging OPC, other people's content. And I would assume they're deeply passionate about this. So it's something that would be super fun to do. I think it's also evidenced that these longer form nuanced conversations about these films, there's interest in that. And I think the channel is a little bit newer. I mean, and so just the consistency on sitting down, building out the production studio necessary to do this. I'm not really sure if they're stitching it together in real time, if they play the, and how they're doing it, but like building out the ability to create this content on a consistent basis. That's something we could all learn from. Kind of creating a model that you can go back to and keep pumping more videos out. And I think it just seems also like just a lot of fun, which is one of the things, that's why we love doing YouTube, that we can actually take our passion and put it out there. And so my thought is based on how long it seems like they're at this, that just consistency, leveling up their content a little bit each time. The new James Bond movies coming out. So then there's timing. You've been doing the thing, but there's those moments when maybe you jump on, you didn't realize that your thing was going to be reinvigorated, or you're positioning yourself for the future unknowns of new movies dropping. Maybe a James Bond TV show starts and all of a sudden that channel's perfectly positioned to have a whole new flood of awareness. That's the Queen's Gambit effect. Chess was popular for sure, but really got popular after Queen's Gambit. And now a lot of chess channels had all this life injected without doing anything differently. They were just perfectly positioned for that future moment. So I think it's pretty cool. And I think it's been a while, but I grew up on like You Only Live Twice. Sean Connery is James. Sean Connery is my favorite James Bond. I mean, I just have to put my vote in right now. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's a pretty neat channel.
I'm more of a Pierce Brosnan person myself, but that's solely influenced by GoldenEye on the N64, which is one of the greatest console games of all time, even though that's got nothing to do with the film. I'm glad that you mentioned perhaps a missed opportunity there, Shaw, in terms of, I think, I forgot what the title of a new Bond film is now. What was it? No Time to Die was released, I think, 2 weeks ago. And the first time we're seeing any content on that film is a day ago. I just feel as if this channel was primed to do something in the last few weeks.
Even before it came out. I mean, as soon as the trailer dropped, a review of the trailer, Easter eggs in the trailer.
Case in point, like last night, I was yesterday I released a video about the new AirPods that have just been released by Apple. And I used in the title, I used new AirPods, and it just kind of came out as a stinker right off the bat. Jeff texted me about maybe been out for like 3 or 4 hours, and it just was kind of a stinker. And he goes, I've noticed that people are actually searching for AirPods 3 rather than new AirPods. I literally put the number 3 in. The VPH doubled in like an hour. Like it doubled, and then it stayed doubled for like all night, and it's still going. I'm like, what? Literally, like what people are searching for sometimes is so specific, and not just saying James Bond, but actually saying the movie title could really, kick you to the next level, especially when people are like interested in looking for it. So when the trailer comes out, like they were saying, and right before it comes out, and right as the reviews are coming out, but sometimes just a little bit of a tweak makes a huge difference.
I don't know. I guess my final question about this channel would be, as you rightly pointed out, Sean, almost all of the content feels as if it's podcast length. An hour, 2 hours, and so on. I see they've experimented with one short clip here. Do you think, forgive the pun, they have a license not to kill, but to make shorter videos and maybe compact down some of that content? Because I guess maybe for new viewers, it might be a bit daunting to jump into a 2-hour video as being exposed to the creator for the first time. Or do you think that might upset the balance of a channel?
I do think, and I agree with you, that best practice, we use the speed dating analogy, that if you want to grow on YouTube and you're just starting, it's like speed dating. People don't know you yet, and they don't want to go, to gelato first, a walk around the park, watch Lord of the Rings extended version, dinner after, cocktails later. Like, I just met you, dude, and I discovered I didn't like your personality. So that's the point of speed dating. It starts shorter, and eventually people trust you at a longer length. And then, hey, someday you might want to get married. Do I want to go on a road trip with this person? Do I want to actually live with this person? So yes, I think shorter content for discoverability and for reaching new audience could be something to incorporate here. But my one just challenging my own thought is, if you find a system, if you just find something that's sustainable that you like doing, it might take longer, but you also could build up a fan base around it. So I would say, if depending on how much time do they have, how much time do they want to invest in editing or maybe crafting shorter form content or whatever. The flip side, though, if you just plant your flag and say, like, every Tuesday we're going to do one of these, and you do it for the next 10 years, on the other side of that could be kind of that word of mouth, diehard fan base, and they just love listening to it during the commute, and they love listening to it. So I think the tension of those two ideas is important. Yes, if you really want a growth hack, I think you need some shorter content. But if this system is working, it's, to me, I feel momentum on the channel, and I just think if you don't quit, then a lot of good things are going to happen over time.
All right, let's take this dating analogy to the next channel. How you doing, Travis? I'm going to let you lead on this one. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, improve your well-being with easy tips. One of the reasons I picked this out is because well-being can be a really popular type of niche slash kind of channel, as people are always looking to get better, feel better mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever the case may be. So I was really intrigued by what this channel was. Interestingly, though, like, everything tells me weed. Like, I just look at this and I think weed right away. So I'm not.
Yeah,
sure.
When I saw that, I got exactly the same first impression.
Could be lettuce, though, and I don't think it has anything to do with any of that, though. So what I think is actually funny is just pick the color that he liked. But I think you also need to consider that it took, I mean, two of us already thought that, which means anyone else who's coming to this channel, there's a very good chance that's actually what they're going to think this channel is about. And if they're not interested, back out. And if they are interested and realize you're not about that, back out. So you're almost qualifying the viewer incorrectly. You're kind of marketing yourself maybe completely by accident as something that you're not. Having said that, I love the idea behind the content strategy of, like, trying to help people be better, but what's the execution look like? So we look at things like make better decisions. That's cool, but make better decisions about what? I talk to other channels where they have a really cool idea for the channel, but then when they try to execute, it's so vague that I don't even know what you're really telling me. No pets allowed. Okay, cool. Emotional support animals. There we go. Like, that's something that makes sense. Emotional support animals, well-being. I get it. What is World Mental Health Day? Okay, I get that. So a lot of times you're nailing it, but then sometimes you'll do something that I'm just not really sure, like Russell T. Davies, Return to Wellbeing. Like, I don't know who that is. Should I know who it is? Maybe I should, but I don't. So what if he said, but what if, like, this was, I always say these are like stories, you're marketing them. What if there's something really interesting in here that I could take away from it, but I've disqualified myself because I look at the title and I'm like, this isn't for me. But maybe he says something 30 minutes in that is like the thing that changes my life forever. So you really want to look at, especially these longer, that's obviously a live stream, these things that these things that have value somewhere in them, and use that kind of as the title base for the video, because you're marketing it. So if you're marketing as this guy is back and I don't know who the guy is and I don't care, I leave. What if this was the video that I came to YouTube for and it would have changed my life forever? So I think from that side, I think.
A good example you brought up there, Travis, in terms of thumbnail context, definitely in terms of the thumbnail and the title. And if you're repeating the title in the thumbnail and then leaving the crucial element of a title to the end, which is how to make better decisions and combat, you can't see this, but it's combat decision fatigue. So that's what the video, I think, is about, combating decision fatigue. But I only know that because I've moused over the title, and then the rest of it looks a little generic, doesn't it? Like, we've seen this light bulb above the head, make better decisions type of thing many times before. Any other thoughts?
My thought, I've always said this about titling, not only does it have to be like, does it have to grab you out of your seat, but, you know, if your title is slightly longer and it's going to get truncated for some reason, you know, put the human hook first, because YouTube as an SEO thing, YouTube can read the entire title if it's truncated or not. Humans can't. Sure. And humans aren't necessarily going to mouse over the ... especially if it's on their phone, where you can't really do that. So for me, always put the human hook first. And if you can combine it with the thumbnail in some way, great. And then if you have SEO portion that needs to be in the title, put it towards the back, because YouTube can read it. I don't know. That's just my thought.
Any other thoughts here, gentlemen?
I think this creator is passionate about a lot of different things. Like, Russell T. Davies is going to be the showrunner for Doctor Who again. He's coming back to the show, but that's like something only Doctor Who fans would really bother looking for. And I saw something else about Keanu Reeves, and I'm seeing all these different topics. And I think what they're trying to do is talk about media that they're passionate about, and then try and give it a twist, well-being in this case, and that's what's going to pull it all together. And by that way, they create this like niche. I don't think that's necessarily going to work. I think I think it needs to appeal to a more specific audience, and Travis kind of touched on all.
I mean,
that.
if it was like how Russell T Davies overcame stress on the, in front of a camera, like that makes more sense, and I can tie it together. How, John Wick almost didn't happen because Keanu Reeves was too anxious. Like, these are the ways you leverage the bigger thing into your kind of smaller niche.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really off top of your head, brilliant title suggestions there, Travis, for a couple of them.
That's what they don't pay me for.
Yep, indeed. Following on then from the theme park theme at the beginning of this live stream, Daniel, our community manager, asked people to take this picture and put me in precarious theme park situations. And I think of all of them, this is the place that I most want to go to, but at the same time would be terrified of going to at the same time. So XDX13 is the winner of our Photoshop competition this week, and he wins the channel audit as always. And Dan, I'm going to pass it over to you as the self-proclaimed champion of gaming channel audits in the entire universe. What are we seeing here?
I just don't remember saying that. Okay, so I'm guessing they hit 100 subscribers recently, so congratulations. We're seeing them do a couple different things. I see some PUBG, I see some Minecraft, and it looks like some vlogs. If you scroll down a little bit, jokes.exe. So some memes, some different style, like meme style content. Yeah. So it does, in this case, does come down to channel focus for us, because I think you can definitely make one of three channels here. Either you can make a channel that's about memes, and that way you're going to be following trends. You're going to be trying to make people laugh, and this very creative and fun endeavor. That's a totally different thing than doing a Minecraft survival channel where you're doing 100 days of Minecraft survival, 10-minute long videos. I'm guessing in those videos, you're taking the game a lot more seriously than you were taking, the meme content, right? People are going to sit down and watch you for a kind of a journey. And then other games like PUBG and things like that. Again, we always say try and focus on one game if you can. And PUBG and Minecraft, I would say with some confidence that the audiences there don't overlap enough for you to be putting those in the same place.
Yeah.
So if we look at, you were just on the most viewed here.
So these are currently the most viewed. Yeah. So we have one, I guess Minecraft short is the most viewed one I can see.
Survival sneak peek. So something, intrigued people there. That was kind of cool. Then some Roblox, then some PUBG, Pixel Gun 3D. So you've tried all these different shorts. A couple of them took off, and maybe that Minecraft one was the decision to try the 100 Days of Survival. But it's good when you're starting on YouTube. It's good to test out different things. It's good to kind of try all sorts of stuff, see what you're enjoying the most. You might by now have enough data to kind of make a final decision and say, okay, I'm going to continue doing blank, whether it's PUBG. Some of these Minecraft videos, relative to what we're seeing in front of us right now, did pretty good. You would want more variety in the thumbnails. What about 100 Days of Survival? Why should I watch? All that kind of advice we give when it comes to gaming creators. But maybe continue with that. Give yourself, 50 Minecraft videos in a row. Try not to deviate from that for a while. Get some really good, solid understanding of that audience, what it takes, what goes into the making of those videos. And you got to start there. There's just too many things going on at once here.
All right. Awesome stuff there, Dan. Thank you. Unless anybody has anything else to add, we will move on to the next channel. That is called Revenge of the Meeples. I think, Dan, this was your pre-stream choice.
Yeah, I obviously would love to hear from everyone on this, but I was very intrigued by this channel. They're a board game channel. It kind of took me a minute, but bringing games to life. And I saw the banner. It made me laugh. The characters tied them up, and this kind of the banner's telling a fun little story. And so I was taking a look at the different videos they've done, and it looks like right now they're uploading quite a bit, and they are a relatively new channel. I think they're trying to build up their back catalog of games and tutorials on these games, while also testing some shorts and some things like that. So the first thing that jumped out at me just looking at the long form gaming content is the thumbnails.
Yes.
I would say the thumbnails right now are whispering board game. I would like them to scream board game.
That's a really funny way of putting it, Dan. I love that. Yeah.
That's what I noticed first, because I've watched a lot of these channels because I like tabletop games. I end up buying a new one. Before the pandemic, I used to buy a new one like every couple of weeks because, we would do game nights with friends or family. And I would always be looking up a video on it because who wants to read instructions? That takes forever. I want to find someone who's going to explain it in like 10 minutes or less and sit down and play the game. And that's the kind of channel I think this person wants to create here. But it's just, you would almost miss that it's a board game channel if you were searching for the specific board game and scrolling through everybody who's done a tutorial on it.
Yeah, I love what you said at the beginning there, where you said it took me a minute to figure out that this channel was about. And then when we go back to this channel, where instinctively you know what this channel's about in some fashion. It's about James Bond. You look at it a little bit more. It's about ranking different James Bond videos. Whereas this one, it takes much longer. And for the average viewer, they've already swiped past and moved on to the next thing.
Right. Those were my initial thoughts.
And then also think about binge watching stuff. It's one of the things that YouTube has kind of been more talking about as far as people liking your content. And one of the best ways to show you like your content is to watch more of it. And if there's no cohesive kind of what the next video should be, then it's going to be harder for your channel to kind of get that traction you're looking for.
So of these, because I've seen Obsession Board Game in our heroes titles, which one of these is screaming out at you, Dan, perhaps as a good thumbnail?
I definitely think when I see the person sitting with the box, because I don't really, if I'm new to this game, I don't really know what that mansion is. Obviously, it's part of the game.
Me too, yeah.
But it doesn't look like anything. And a lot of people chose to use that as the, as the
I get
thumbnail
a
image.
Downton Abbey feel from some of these.
Yeah. So what?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
I think with these channels, what attracts me as a viewer is seeing a person sitting at a table with the board game, because it tells me exactly what I'm going to get. This person is going to open that box and they're going to lay everything out and explain it to me. And when the picture looks nice, like the top one was probably my favorite. You have a nice set, clear camera, everything looks really sharp. I kind of not only they're the top result, which is helping, but I kind of trust them. Just the eye contact with the viewer in this case. This is one of those occasions where I would encourage everything I'm seeing there. Play through and review. If you're going to use text, that's what I would have chosen. And yeah, now the mansion makes sense. I see the mansion on the box. Everyone else is just using that mansion, and it doesn't really look like anything.
So I guess this was maybe the comparative thumbnail here. And maybe because the box isn't on a table, that could, for all I know, that could be like a CD or a film or something. It's just maybe not as much context there.
Side note, if you just rework that thumbnail, you've got the backhand. You wouldn't need the backhand. You could almost do more of like, look at, Rob Wilson's crop on vidIQ thumbnails. Like, you don't need that much shirt. You don't need that back arm. You could bring your face much closer, but all of that's just kind of sideline advice to the sitting down board game on the table. So it gives context to what you're looking at.
Not to mention on that thumbnail, the mansion in that picture is yellow, and all the other ones we just saw were white, which tells me they're not color correcting their thumbnails either. And these are just details you kind of pick up over time as you learn Photoshop, as you learn to craft your thumbnails. But these are all things that, because now it's making it look more kind of dull, and it's another missed opportunity for having this board game kind of pop off the screen.
All right, so I think Revenge of the Meeples, I think certainly your biggest challenge is making those thumbnails shout that they're about board games. Dan, it's over to you again, just to quickly talk about the Discord community. I know you're on fire right now.
Look at me. So Discord is a magical place. Not really, though. It's technology. You can visit and you can hang out with other creators just like you on this crazy journey we call YouTube. It's not a place to dump your content, anything like that. But what it is a place where you can learn from others about what they're doing on YouTube. You can get advice on your thumbnails, like the channel we're seeing here. You can talk strategy, all kinds of stuff. Highly recommend it. vidIQ.com/Discord. Link is down below. And to some of our most helpful creators in the Discord, we randomly pick one every single week, and we give them kind of a surprise audit of their channel. And it looks like today we've picked Found in Japan.
Found in Japan. Yeah, might just want to fix that channel banner a little bit so that we can read it in the channel banner. But congratulations on 100 subscribers. And I will just open this to the floor here. Whoever wants to jump in first, what are we seeing for this channel?
I love the idea behind this channel. I also love Japanese culture, so I would instantly be interested in a channel like this. I think right now the thumbnails are letting me down a bit, but the topics, which are sometimes the hardest part of a video, seem to be strong. Like, what did Starbucks Japan put in my drink? So there's the intrigue. Like, there's a Starbucks Japan that's an American company in Japan. Like, you're curious, like, what does it taste like? That there's so much that works about that. I just wonder if the thumbnail could be a little stronger, but the title game is awesome on that one. I don't know what Gigamax is, but he kind of shows the picture of what it is, and he's eating it. So I'm kind of okay with that. Maybe a little bit more kind of stand out of him actually eating it. But I think that the topic of this channel, which sometimes is the hardest thing to come up with, is so strong that if he can just nail a couple of kind of packaging issues, which would be thumbnail for me, and then make sure that he pays attention to your retention graph and of course your click-through rate, but your retention graph on some of these longer videos, the opportunity for a channel like this is actually really good. There's a lot of people who are either living in Japan or not living in Japan who want to move to Japan or want to visit Japan. Like, there's so many different people that you could be pulling from. I just love the idea of this channel.
One of my observations as well, just in agreement with the niche, is especially for YouTube Shorts,
Yeah, I agree.
food content, eating food or just showing off food or tasting food for the first time, and also in Asian culture or Japanese shorts type channels around that kind of food. There's some of them are just exploding, and you have the opportunity to also take the approach of multiple shorts uploads a day, at least one a day, or 2, 3, 4, 5 a day. And then that model there being so much growth that you start maybe getting product placement and or kind of a brand deals, maybe a little bit from Creator Fund or the Shorts Fund, but that's usually not much, but just in terms of growth. So I think I would really double down on shorts. It's seeming to be that's kind of all the direction you're going. And that would be the biggest thing. You don't want to just apply a strategy or a tactic because it will work. You seem to already be going in this direction. So I think that's a wave of opportunity. And so then your homework would be, though, is to identify 5 to 10 trying food channels that are really succeeding with shorts. Do put constraints on it, but do a study to where you synthesize what you could learn and what some of your video ideas are. And I just think about my friend Benji, co-author of YouTube Secrets. He just had some creators visit the studio, and one of them was a food creator that's just crushing it with shorts. And she would be strategically planning her day, what she's eating, what she's cooking, where she visits. She'd be creating whole trips around. And I mean, her growth was crazy around that because she really just thought about multiple shorts uploads a day. And then I suppose you spin that off into even the opportunity of TikTok and Reels, because that's what some creators are doing now, since those can kind of be multi-purposed if you do it in a really thoughtful way. So I would lean heavy into YouTube Shorts in this case.
So just looking at the shorts themselves, I'm noticing that they're all, in terms of shorts, actually quite long. I'm wondering if there's experimentation to be made that maybe trying to get them down to 15 to 20 seconds to try and encourage that rewatch of a short, get it above 100% audience view duration. And also titles for shorts are even more important because you don't have the luxury of being able to use a custom thumbnail. Sometimes the title is the only thing that the potential viewer has to go off if you're the entry point into the shorts player. And so I think many of these might be being cut off. What is your general thought here about almost like the split language titles here? Do you think I guess the question is, in terms of the spoken language within the short themselves, are they trying to appeal to the Japanese audience or the English audience? So why maybe do you need both titles? I'm just asking these questions in my head because I don't know the full context of the channel.
Very important question, because you go deeper and say, like, the best way any of us in watching this stream, thinking about our own channel, is the further ahead we can think in terms of where's this all going? What does winning look like? How would I define success? And if I work backwards from a clear end goal or a clear end destination, then I'm going to make better decisions today. So sometimes all we think about as YouTube creators is, how do I get views today? So maybe 2 languages. It's like, well, maybe I can pull views from 2 different places, get as many views as possible today. That is actually an okay strategy, but it's very short-sighted. It's like, well, why just get views? What is the point of getting the views? Maybe a better question would be, what would be the ideal audience I'd want to reach? Who exactly, how well do I understand that audience? So what language do they speak? Do I want to go all in on English, or do I want to also develop a Japanese audience? Another way to look at it is if you start asking questions like, well, where do I want to end up? I want to do this full time. If I'm going to do this full time, how am I going to make money? Well, would potentially US advertisers, or what audience would certain brands I someday want to work with? Who are the 5 to 10 brands I want to work with someday? Okay, what audience would be, and what demographic would they be most interested if I built up an audience that is like that? Well, now that's going to inform the content I make today. So that's kind of a long way of saying, I think maybe, because again, if you then show a brand your analytics someday, and they're like, all right, well, a lot of your traffic's kind of coming from Japan, but like, we're a US based company, but maybe Japan is the angle, and maybe an international audience is the audience you want to build. It's just being a little bit more thoughtful with really kind of starting with your end goal and working backwards.
If I look at this title, for example, as a complete layman to Japanese culture and whatnot, I understand the word latte and taste test. So perhaps if I was going to try and retitle this, it might be, what does a Japanese latte taste like? As a potential different approach to this. But again, as you say, Sean, I think this creator really needs to drill down on who their target audience is for their channel.
And
that is,
add too, that let's just say you got lucky, and because you put the 2 languages in a title, it blew up. And so it blew up in 2 different directions.
Yeah.
This is, I think, the mistake a lot of YouTube creators make. They just want to blow up, period, not actually realizing that sometimes not all growth is good growth. If you get lots of exposure and it leads lots of subscribers to your channel that are the wrong subscribers, long term, it may actually hurt you more than it helps you. So let's just say that the algorithm was like, oh, this short is blowing up amongst those that are only speak Japanese. And it also is, well, then it could be it could cause later confusion. And in the short term, we feel kind of a shot of dopamine because maybe we had a short go viral, but then what is it ultimately leading to? And so that's something to be considered. I don't know if that would even happen by potentially going for the 2 audiences, but that could be the danger. So I might pick one, or to your point, I'm noticing that some of those Japanese characters are directly off the label. So there's something about that. So maybe it's like trying to pull those. And yes, so then the rethinking through the titles is definitely something to put some deeper thought into, and adding some restructure.
Loser Anna is the next channel we are going to audit. I seem to remember that maybe we looked at this channel 3 to 6 months ago, and I think they just cracked 1,000 subscribers. Lots of growth since then. Sean, this is one that you picked beforehand. And I seem to remember mentioning to Anna maybe last week or the week before, phenomenal thumbnails. What are your thoughts, Sean?
Yeah, so, a lot of times, especially at Think Media, we lean towards education channels, people that are teaching something. But this one just stood out to me as I was going through the submissions, because if you're going to go kind of entertainment, vlog style, kind of story style, I think you need to ask yourself, what's going to make you different? And so there's actually just a lot of things that stood out immediately, and the channel gripped me. I think Loser Anna, just even the name itself, that I don't know what meaning that means to her, but it actually came with a humorous, self-depreciatingness to it, which I think is very strong. It is relatable. Like, Loser Anna is kind of a cool, and maybe here's the big idea, vidIQ community. How can we level up your branding? I don't think a lot of people talk about branding very much. Let's check out the cover. The cover is her just cover image is just rad. You got the cartoon thing. She's got the loser L. You feel the whole energy. There's sass to it. There's energy to it. There's the color to it. And then she's got a great name. But what really stood out to me, thanks for going to the about page, is hi, I'm loser Anna, and I do everything barefoot. There's like another really strong tip. Makes me think of my friend who's here in Vegas, Skip the Tutorial. And one of the ways in a gaming channel that he really grew was handicaps. He was like, I played Punch Out on a Nintendo Switch or whatever using only voice commands, and I beat the game. So you go like storytelling or vlog channel, but if you put yourself inside of that is a story in of itself. 100, thousands, millions of other people want to do what loser Anna's doing, but she's doing it barefoot. Like, so all of a sudden I was like, that's a whole nother, like that goes into your creative idea, the creative wrapper that everyone's doing the things the same, but loser Anna's doing it barefoot with a cool brand. You know, join the loser gang by subscribing and a deep dive into the crazy barefoot journey with me. For those that want to work on branding, I think a great book recommendation of the day is Primal Branding. It's talked about a lot on YouTube education channels, and it talks about some of these things, naming your community, different things, and an aspect of who are you for, who are the haters, who are you rallying to you? And I sense loser Anna with a lot of those primal branding elements in her channel. I would agree. The thumbnails, and then as we start seeing the titles, they definitely go on that storytelling type of angle, and I like that. And so I think clearly the photography, the whole deal. So then it's just my summary of it for me was, if you're gonna go kind of travel or vlog or personal brand entertainment, that those are the things to really work on. What is your brand? What is going to make you different? What is your unique kind of sass that you can sassiness or style that sort of makes you pop in a world of a lot of people that kind of want to travel and make videos?
Rob, as a side note, that actually reminds me of Vid Summit. I was sitting with Aiden, who skipped the tutorial, and Jake Feldman, and they both have, of course, Minecraft channels. And hearing Aiden, who is a business guy, I mean, he's right out of high school. He's maybe like 19 or 20 now, but has a full team and everything. And then him talking to the very laid back Jake Feldman about how he should be monetizing stuff was just fascinating. It was great to watch.
Sean, you were talking about like how do you label your community? We've been trying to do this for years. Well, not we. We've been encouraging people, and the best one that that's come up so far was from Emily, who called our community vidIQs. It hasn't stuck, I must admit. But going back to this channel, I can't recommend this to any other creator, in the sense of this channel pivoted to bare feet. I mean, you can literally see the difference in the thumbnail and the titling structure from this video at the bottom here to this. And the transformation in views and community, it's just exploded. But I think, as you say, Sean, finding your own personality and brand, and then being able to embrace that, and a community that's going to embrace you around that, is certainly working for this channel. And I can only see great things, maybe slowly growing the community, but that community is going to be coming back with every single video. It's another one of those channels where I assume that return viewers is going to be very, very high for this channel.
And let me just to drill down on that, to encourage those here that some might say, well, this idea is so creative. Lightning of creativity is not striking me right now. Well, the key is you learn by doing, and creativity comes, like, you can't steer a parked car. And so this barefoot pivot obviously has come partway on the journey. So I want to encourage you, vidIQ community, like, keep making videos, but keep thinking about how you could maybe steer the car that's moving, because you're publishing, you're taking action, you're studying, you're staying committed to these live streams. And now this barefoot insight is something that appears to have hit the channel, and now they're really doubling down on it. Rob, the interesting thing is it's actually an incredibly powerful idea, because to be specific, there's people that there's a whole group of people that hate shoes. It kind of taps into like people that want to be grounded. It taps into a whole mentality. There's people that kind of that hippie mindset, or that more back to the earth. It's an idea that can polarize and attract and grab a lot of different people. There's people who really are into feet. I mean, in kind of weird ways, a different thing, but nevertheless, like when you tap into something strong, it can be far reaching because there's people obsessed with feet. There's people who love. So it's interesting to see. Everybody has feet for the most part around the world. And so there's that. It's an interestingly strong idea. That's why I wanted to pick this channel out. So you start weaving some of those elements in. And if you're listening to this, you're like, I just don't have that creativity. Keep moving and keep watching streams like this, because there could be that moment that you make that branding pivot or that positional pivot on your channel that kind of maybe changes everything. It ignites a whole new season of new growth.
Look at the catalyst here. I walked barefoot for a day 6 months ago, 30,000 views. Then they went off exploring other avenues. And for whatever reason, this creator returned to that topic. I said topic, this theme of their content, and it's really working for the channel. So Loser Anna is definitely not a loser in the sense of YouTube channel growth, but it is their brand and their sassiness. Awesome stuff there. All right, folks, we're going to take a very, very quick commercial break, but when we get back, it's time for the claw. Where's my advert gone? There it is.
Introducing daily ideas from vidIQ. AI designed for those that have to create. Inspired by the creators that start working when others stop. Because their inspiration doesn't care for 9 to 5. Creators that push their ideas 1 step, even 3 steps beyond the obvious, and won't ever settle for anything less. Discover AI-generated ideas made for your channel only, the creator whose brain works like nobody else's. Newly refreshed every single day, because we know how much it hurts to get caught sleeping on a trend. And there's nothing sweeter than waking up to a view count you didn't dare dream of. So we made View Prediction. See all your opportunities ranked by their potential to get you more views. When your creativity and our algorithm work together, surprising things happen. And this is just the start. The power of artificial intelligence is in your hands, and we can't wait to see what you create. Daily ideas from vidIQ. AI-powered inspiration, inspired by you.
I must confess, I am at the point now where I play that advert just because I love listening to your voice in that advert every single week, Dan. But of course, that is Daily Ideas, our brand new tool suggesting up to 50 ideas related to your channel. That is on top of the most viewed tool that I showed you much earlier on top of channel audits, competitor tools, keyword research, thumbnail previews. The list is endless. And as I said earlier, you can get 50% off your first 2 months with Pro or Boost plans for new customers. Do check out the link in the description. But now, Sean, I don't know if you saw this last time, but what do you think to a little bit of this? I mean, talk about going above and beyond. Usually we'd be planning, like what are the really important videos that we need to make next on the channel. But mostly our planning sessions are about what stingers can we put in our live streams, which are just really, really cool. And Dan, again, just amazing work from you, sir.
Thanks, it was fun.
Yeah, good. All right then. If you're new here, this is how the claw works. If Jeff was here, he would now be saying the claw every single time we delve into the ball pit, but he's not. So you'll have to come back next week for his rendition of that. We take a number, we put that number into our form here. These are all of your submissions. And then we take a channel, and we are, I guess, experiencing this channel very first impressions. We don't know what we're going to see, and that's exactly how a viewer would encounter your content. And so we are looking at TechTuber Simba, and I think the best person to maybe give our first opinions on this would be Travis. What are we seeing here?
Oh, I like the name TechTuber Simba. That's dope. 6,000 subscribers. Little shorts going well. Okay, one's a little too long for shorts. that's always the danger of like getting right up to that minute. If you go over, then you're not eligible anymore, and then you're just kind of at the whims of the normal YouTube.
So what does it become? It becomes a vertical YouTube video.
Yeah, at that point you're like,
Mm.
"Ugh," so you just hope for
You see,
browse.
Here's the thing: like the thumbnail says 101, but a thumbnail
Yeah.
timestamp always adds a second on, so that might come underneath. Maybe
You never
who
know.
knows?
It's so close that
Yeah.
I would just back off it by 2 seconds and just edit.
Yeah, yeah.
You can, by the way, do that. You can go into the edit on YouTube and just snip off like a second or two, and just to make
Sure.
sure it makes it. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, video editing. So we got the video editing tutorial for Instagram. We got upload Instagram, OnePlus T. Okay, so I've seen this before. Laptops. Okay, I've seen this before where people use different. They consider tech to be a lot of different things, which is great. But the viewership that are looking for Instagram tips are not necessarily the same viewership that's looking for certain specific camera reviews or phone reviews or something like that. Like a lot of times what they're looking for is either tips to grow their Instagram or, you know, ways to do cool filters and stuff, which is fine. But a lot of those people that are super creative are not necessarily into the techie part of like a phone review. So you just need to make sure that you're thinking about who your viewer is in each one of these. It looks like your top videos are kind of that techie kind of feel. So you got the OnePlus Nord, Redmi, Bluetooth headphones, how to clean the yellow transfer to mobile. So you're very mobile friendly, very mobile kind of focused. And those are your best kind of hitting videos. So I would wonder, you know, why did you do an Instagram? Where have you been doing Instagram stuff? Is that because something took off, or because a video editing tutorial of Instagram Reels is definitely a different viewership than someone who's looking for a bunch of phone reviews. But I mean, the value is there. And a lot more YouTube Shorts, and then keyboard stuff. Again, it's been my experience that like you can have these kind of SEO friendly reviews, which will get you views over time. But they won't necessarily have people come back to you, because if you're really into like the latest smartphone review and then you do a keyboard review and that keyboard review takes off, we look at a channel not too long ago that it's all keyboards and they get like hundreds of thousands of views every single time they do a keyboard video. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But if she did a smartphone video, it's unlikely that same keyboard fanatic group is going to watch that. And the same here. So I just, you know, if you just want to have fun and just do all different types of tech, that's cool. But if you laser focus for a while until you kind of get that real following going, you'll find that probably most of your viewership is mobile right now.
I think it's quite heavily influenced by the OnePlus Nord in particular. That phone had a viral moment for them. They doubled down on it, which is the right decision. And then either they got bored of the technology, or the world moved on from that phone, and it feels as if they've been chasing that next strong connection with their audience since. Because, you know, I look at the subscriber count, 6,000 versus the view counts. The viewers aren't returning for whatever reason in the majority of these videos.
Yeah, well, you have to again think about who those people were. So the Nord was not super popular in America. It's a budget phone, really low cost, was pretty popular overseas in different countries. So that right there tells you a lot about the viewer. And if you consider that and think about what other type of videos you're doing, you will easily find that some of these other videos she's been doing really wouldn't connect with that type of person. So let's see, what's India? Yeah, so India was a big phone in India for sure. Yeah, so when you have a video like that brings in a bunch of people, think about who that viewer was and understand, is that the type of person you want to continue to grow along with? And if so, give them that type of content. And I just don't think the Nord fan base is as interested in some of these other products.
Who wants to throw their toys out of a pram about the text on the thumbnails?
Yeah, I was just thinking thumbnails in general. I think, one, I think that this is amazing and I love this channel. Two, I think we need more diversity in the tech space.
Sure.
And so it's awesome to see that. And I think there's also a lot of opportunity there. Almost at 1 million views. I mean, 750,000 views on the channel. So really with the momentum and with what's already happening, I'm almost speaking kind of from a more like leadership, business, future forward kind of deal here. This is working. You've got momentum. As you double down, things are going to go really, really well for you. I think what I would be looking for is a branding update. And I would really be thinking about your graphic design skills if you're going to be doing this yourself, and your photography skills. I would
Mhm.
make a concerted effort to improve the photos of yourself. So you got like decent lighting, and it's maybe with the smartphone, but like to look at some of the best thumbnails out there and to get some better headshots as far as lighting goes. That white balance thing that Dan mentioned earlier, and not like, hopefully this advice is not stressful. It's saying that if I'm you, I'm saying, okay, what YouTube videos can I study? Can I take some Skillshare courses to specifically improve my photography and my graphic design? And then finally investing maybe some dollars, which could be, we have a video on Think Media about getting a paper backdrop. And there's not just the colored backdrop, like the clean place you're going to take photos, but also the lighting, so that you really, and maybe people have noticed that, especially in the last 2 years, Think Media's thumbnails are ridiculous, like, because we really invest in them in terms of lighting, photography, design. And so if you look at even some of, that's a little bit of a dome light above me, even the way shadows are created on my face, and then in the simplicity of the thumbnails. And I think you have that within you, no doubt. Like, you could absolutely apply that to your channel. All the way back to Rob's point about the text, less is more. Can you just, the title is doing the heavy lifting on the text for you. It could be one word, shocking, like, you wouldn't believe it. That's too many words. Like broken, or no words at all. Like you holding up the product, or you showcasing the product. And some of your thumbnails, I like it that you're not in. Also thinking about those as well. Tabletop photography, product photography. So essentially and this is maybe a tip for everybody watching as well. What is your PDP? What is your personal development plan? And you could almost call it like a YSDP. What is your YouTube skill development plan? And if I wrote down, I'd say, okay, tabletop photography, lighting, graphic design. And I really believe, with what you've achieved so far, that 6 months from now, you could completely distinguish yourself from competitors by leveling up the look and feel of your thumbnails.
All right, then. Awesome stuff there. Good luck, Tech Tuber Simba. And we're going to now look at a gaming channel to make sure that we mix up the two forms. And type in the correct number. Yes. All right. So we are looking at here Legend Buddies. I think they have exactly 222 subscribers. I thought this was going to be a League of Legends channel just from the channel name alone, but I am oh so very wrong. I am getting a Call of Duty mobile vibe a little bit here. Custom thumbnails, I think, would be perhaps the first suggestion. They look like just screen grabs from the game itself. And many of these are very short videos, but they're not YouTube shorts.
Right.
So they're not in the vertical format. Now, I know that some creators have actually just been having success with short landscape videos. Dan, you've been one of them with your little experiments. But I guess with a channel that hasn't quite established themselves and where they want to be in YouTube, maybe making these videos a little bit longer and adding a custom thumbnail is probably the first place to start.
Yeah, the reason it's worked for myself and channels like BlockFX, from like short form content to long form content, is because we started with shorts. That's what initially grew the channel. And then wanting to pivot to something we can actually monetize, something that we could take in different directions, it was a matter of making the same thing we were doing in shorts, but in the long form. So maybe this creator has tried shorts. Like, it looks like they have. We got some vertical videos here.
Most viewed ones appear to be shorts, actually.
Yeah. Maybe they're frustrated because they're not hitting monetization. They're not getting the watch time they want, counting towards monetization. So they might be trying some different experiments. But right now, YouTube is pushing for shorts. You've had a bunch of very successful shorts. Yeah. And as you can see, you can make them square. I would change the crop on some of these ones in the middle here. I still would have cropped in so that further improve the viewer experience, but it works. A call to action at the beginning for subscribing, I would have just not included that, because that was long enough to get me to swipe away.
Swipe away.
Yeah.
That point.
I'm already gone. We could definitely nitpick those things, but I think there's the channel just feels a little inconsistent. They haven't kind of picked like a strategy and really dedicated to it yet, and that's going to be key here. So I would go back to making shorts. I would improve the crop on them. I would definitely think of the viewer first. Give the viewer the best experience possible. Also with your titling, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think COD M is the keyword for Call of Duty Mobile. I think it's COD and then the word mobile spelled out. We can look into that, but I've never seen it done that way. Let's see. COD M there 7 hours ago, a day ago.
This is the channel that's bringing back the results, so rather than.
Oh, that's their name. Their channel name is so and so COD M. Okay, so I missed the first part of the name, so I said so and so.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think the vastly used term in the wider community here is Call of Duty Mobile. So take all these cool moments you've collected, make shorts out of them, keep making shorts, and then when you pivot to long form content, now you're this creator who makes these exciting videos in short form, except now they're longer. Now they're up to 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes long. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So very clearly focusing on shorts there for that channel. We're going to move on to a non-gaming channel this time. This is going to be Chris Johnson. And let's see what Mr. Johnson has to offer us with his 18 subscribers. Okay, YouTube strategies. All right. Whew, those are some very, very impressive thumbnails for a channel that is 2 videos old, and they're a YouTube education channel. You should know a little bit about this, everybody, here on this call. So yeah, let's see what we're looking at here. If you don't have a YouTube channel, you have to rethink this. How to create a YouTube channel, name, profile, picture, banner, channel description. So I like that one of the first videos is almost the start of their journey. And I guess I would be thinking about, in terms of YouTube education, in order to add validity and credibility to what you're doing, my thoughts would be here's taking them through the basics. I started at 0 subscribers. These are the first things I did in setting up my channel. This is how I hit my first 10 subscribers. I know that's like the very beginnings, but some people are going to be at the very beginning of their journey. And also the thumbnails are just absolutely superb. I know we don't have too much material to go on here, but promising start.
Yeah. You know what I would do? The next video should be how I'm getting my first 100 subscribers. I think this creator
leading up to that.
Yeah, I think this creator could tackle search while also taking people on a journey. Because when you're in this space and you're not coming with that, vidIQ size channel yet. I think it's good to acknowledge that in some way, so I can see that actually being a benefit to them.
Both videos already have more views and subscribers. I know, again, that's very early days, but it means that YouTube is starting to reach out to new audiences all of the time. And I know we're talking about very small sample sizes, but for a video in its first 7 hours to have more views and subscribers, again, is very encouraging. I think YouTube is probably going to be looking at the data here, and it's already starting to get positive signals. I'm curious. I almost want to watch like the first, and like the production value, like in the first couple of seconds, very, very good. So no complaints there. They're already getting a little bit of engagement. Already like 9 comments again from a video. That's phenomenal engagement. It's almost 50. Okay, you are responding to some comments, but even so, you're already engaging with your audience as quickly as possible. Yeah, it's just all thumbs up here from us.
So this is clearly a creator who's like done something before on YouTube.
I imagine that as well, Dan.
Sorry,
Sean.
Sean.
On his website, and definitely you could tell he was a graphic designer, and he's also got a whole copyright-free music angle. So like I think this channel is going to set him up and position him. He's got a full album on his site. Of course, there's the whole Alpha Gaming Stream Beats kind of, which is just a crazy case study in terms of the amount of views all that content gets and business model even. But I also am jealous that Chris's name is spelt so uniquely, because it was really easy for him to get chrisjohnson.com. I guess Sean Cannell similarly, there's like no other Sean Cannells really, but So that's pretty cool. So it's cool to see like the maybe kind of cohesive strategy. And even in, compared to the last channel, it's another thing to consider. If we go to if you actually go to his website, chrisjohnson.com, you click on copyright free music and you look at just a little image of his face on the copyright free music at the top and his face on the thumbnail of the album. It's just got that moody photography lighting. That's something we could all learn from. Is like one of the ways. In fact, here's just a tip for all of us. Everyone's like putting their face in thumbnails. One of the ways to really make it a little bit different is start bringing in different lighting dimensions, not just that like overexposed giant softbox right in your face. And you can, even this main photo, it's insanely sharp. Like that's a really not accidentally sharp photo that Chris has created there. That was probably a selfie on a tripod, or maybe a selfie because of how close it even is. So anyways, I think that is going to be a huge advantage for Chris to leverage all those skills. And with his comment on the screen too, you can see that nice shadow on one side of his face, a little bit of pink LED kind of hue on the other side. Those elements can really make you pop in a world where puts the Instagram live color kind of around it, a different vibe there, that circle, with everybody's profile picture looking the same. How can you stand out and add a few extra things that in a crowded space gives you a little bit of difference?
I expect us to be seeing a lot more from Chris in the next couple of months. I may have to, I think I'm going to have to subscribe and follow this gentleman and see where he ends up soon. Any more thoughts, or is it with 2 videos gone, everything seems good? Just continue on with I think growing as a creator and educating people at the same time kind of vibe there.
Congratulations, Chris. You just made it to Rob's competitor list. Our competitor tool.
Dan, that is another tool. You're absolutely, there we go. We can add him as a competitor, and we can follow him along with all of the other. Look, we follow Think Media, Colin and Samir, so we'll be seeing more videos from Chris there as well. Let's pick a gaming channel next. This is channel number 7 from those who submitted. This channel, it's all about
Back at it, Ken. Do
you like that channel name, Travis? Just you're always going on about memorable channel names.
Wait, it is Back at it, Ken. Back at it, Ken. Back at it again. I got you.
Figured it out now.
I got it. He's
back at it again. Is an Apex Legends content creator, and they look to be crushing it on shorts here. Dan, seen this? Like 16,000 views, 1,200 views. So here's the challenge, Dan. Maybe you can offer some advice here. 1,000 views, 16,000 views, 22 views. What happened there? How might we be able to fix that?
Well, so that video with 22 views is 10 minutes long, 9 minutes long. It's got a little number 5 in the corner, so I'm wondering if it's part of a series. Yeah, because there's a number 4 on the other side there. Yeah. So they're doing these shorts. It's bringing in a lot of viewers, interested in that kind of high action content. And then I'm guessing the 9-minute videos are a bit slower. They're taking you through the game a little more deeply. So here's what I would do. First ranked match as Crypto. I guess Crypto's maybe a character in the game. First ranked match as Crypto doesn't really tell me anything. Could you have titled that video to be a little more clear as to the value I'm going to get out of it? Because this is, you're going to go back to long form content. So now we got to change the strategy here, because a title like that works for shorts. For long form content, what's the appeal of this character? Maybe, it's your first ranked match. Did something terrible happen? Could you have focused on that perhaps? It's just, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not as an intriguing title, and it would work, I think, for a short. But for the long form content, it kind of just screams, okay, yeah, let's play for this game. And then what's interesting about it is they've taken elements and put them in focus on the very edges of the thumbnail. Yeah. But everything in the middle is blurry. So that's another bit of intrigue that's lost on me. I don't know what's going on. It just looks like some blurry image. Yeah, it's just not really telling me. I wouldn't really know that was Apex unless I read the title, and that's not what you want. Apex is something that has a clear aesthetic. Fans of the game know what it looks like, to the point where you probably don't even need it in the title. But in this case, you did, because I just don't see Apex anywhere in that thumbnail.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they're having so much success with shorts, because I think their titling structure is great for shorts, and they're not putting custom thumbnails because you don't need to. So yeah, it's working out. And then the other thing to say about that is the long form content is probably a lot different than the shorts, and that's going to happen. That's totally fine. It's just all about measuring your expectations in that case.
Sorry if you mentioned this then, Dan. Is it not worth maybe trying some 1 minute 30 or 2 minute style
definitely
long form content?
Yeah.
Which has that same probably high speed octane style delivery, but it's just trying to encourage more, I guess, not necessarily desktop viewers, but viewers within a regular YouTube player environment.
I didn't get there. Thank you for helping me with that. So what I would do is keep uploading shorts. And if you want to try what Rob just said, 1:30 widescreen video, but same exact thing as your shorts otherwise, wait until you've noticed your viewers tip. When you're getting views immediately when you upload the short and they're coming from browse, that's when you know you've built up a nice solid base of returning viewers. You're no longer waiting for the short shelf to pick it up and put it in front of people. Browse just took you there. And when that happens, that's when you know, like, okay, I have a lot of returning viewers. I have a lot of people who like my content. Feed them something that's 1:30 or 38 seconds, but make it widescreen. So you start getting that watch time that's going to lead to the monetization goal.
So that sounds like some really killer insider advice there. 100,000 views, but not many subscribers there. And it's really, I hesitate to ask people to do calls to actions within shorts in terms of subscribing to a channel.
Yeah.
But maybe the argument here is that shorts, in terms of shorts, the subscriber count isn't as important, because I think YouTube's recommendation system within shorts is more relying on viewer satisfaction and bringing people, when somebody goes into the shorts player and they swipe, what does YouTube show them next? I feel as if YouTube is knowing when to show a video from Back at It Ken, regardless of the subscriber count.
Yeah, it's something you're doing with shorts is right. And I bet you when we watch these, they start out really action-packed. It makes it hard to swipe away if you're a fan of this game, because you just want to see where this is going. And your long-form content should do that too. Even if it is 10 minutes long, it should start strong. And best of luck.
Let's dip into the ball pit once again, and we'll choose channel 175. And we are looking at Wild Nature Southwest next. Oops. Oh, yeah. We can use this tab. And so they have 36 subscribers, and they're doing trail cams and soundscapes. And just first impressions here, I'm seeing thumbnails that look as if they've come from 2008. The text I cannot read at all on any of these. I don't know really what the focus of each image is sometimes. So that would be my first impression improvement here. Let's have a look at similar thumbnails that are looking at butterflies or the early bird catching a worm, and see how you can improve your thumbnails in that respect. But what else can we see here?
Seems to be like a definite focus on flying things. So, the channel's name has more to do with nature, but really it looks like the majority of things are birds or butterflies or things that fly. So wild nature, maybe, just to focus it down a little bit, just to explain, that it's things that take flight. That's a nice image.
No, yeah, so even that, hang on, let me just play it in.
Is a much better, would be,
as a thumbnail, but unfortunately, the unique way StreamYards works means that it just buffers every video at the moment I try and play it. But you saw it for like 3 or 4 seconds. That image seemed far more impactful than this cartoonized version, I would suggest.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, you look up almost any nature video on YouTube that's doing well, you look at the thumbnail and it's typically really, really good. So, you're already kind of up against it. But if your footage is good, then you probably have, like, that one shot was great. You probably have a thumbnail waiting for you in your video. And
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah, you're
less
right.
is more when it comes to this stuff. You know, like even like food channels, like you'll maybe bump the saturation up a little bit, but most of the best thumbnails are just the actual thing. You know, maybe
This
close.
elephant hawk moth
I've
looks
never heard of that
beautiful.
Get rid of those texts.
The text is just ruining. It's not visually satisfying because I'm reading text rather than and seeing what that is. Because I might want to click on that and see what it looks like.
I've never seen anything like that. So yeah, 100%. Up and they're right there. So they're doing a little definition thing. But it's not flying. Oh, are they showing it later? Here's another thing. You know, if we talk about retention, if you think about like the thumbnail kind of giving you an expectation and then jumping into it, and Mr. Beast talked about that at his Vid Summit thing. I mean, I think the first couple of seconds here was really weak. Like you see this beautiful moth, that's immediately what you want to see, but you're not getting it. You're getting text, like a book or something. So sometimes you have to think about that first 30-second hook and really kind of reestablish why someone clicked.
So that was Wild Nature Southwest there. Let's see how long we've got. Another 15 minutes so we can get the ball into the pit again and pick out another channel. And this is going to be channel 84 from the gaming side of things. The channel is called Pennyhoff Gaming, I believe. Well, that's
That's old school Yahoo. What was that about?
Yeah, well, how did I get that? Let me just
Yahoo
try
from
that
2013
again.
or something.
I do not know. But I copy and pasted there. That was really bizarre. Hang on a second.
There again. Good job.
No, it's not. This is where I get stressed out with technical. Oh yeah, they've actually put in a Yahoo link. So unfortunately, this is why, folks, you need to put in the right URL. Or I'm not going to be able to find a channel. So we'll have to choose another gaming channel, unfortunately, and that is channel 196.
With that last one, I'd say Channel Focus. Something to work on.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Sound advice. At least we gave them one tip. Channel is simply called Stone. Subscribe, please. Why should we subscribe?
Shorts.
Shorts. Pretty good views too. I mean, you look at 3,000 subscribers on the short. I mean, 8,000 viewers. There's 6,000 views in less than 24 hours.
They must have a viral short or two.
I reckon you're right. Yeah. Not too viral. I mean, lots of successful videos, but not one that's really jumping out. And hey, given a time span here, because if they're really hitting something nice and consistent here.
Yep.
Yeah. This is somebody who I would say maybe going for a block fact style like strategy. I'm noticing a theme with a lot of the way these videos look, especially where they've bothered to put like a thumbnail, you know, and you look at them and they're still shorts. It's kind of interesting the choices they've made there with like some videos get thumbnails and some don't. I wonder if there's a reason for that.
This feels like an example of where the creator is really making titles with shorts intent. There's no attempt at SEO here at all because it's Minecraft, but it's not included in the title. It's probably not included in the description. They're just trying to create a fear of missing out. If you do not click on this video, you're not going to find out if evokers were realistic, whatever that means done. I don't know if I've got the context of that correct, but
I'm curious. I'm actually curious myself because I think what they've done. What if evokers is realistic could mean that they've modded the game. So this evoker is going to do something, or they've animated it in some way, because they're a fictional creature. So what made them realistic? Now I'm curious. So now we're watching. Okay, there might be some commentary here.
Yeah. Is that supposed to happen?
I know what mod that is though. That broke them into little pieces. So a lot of people watch that 1,000 views. I kind of wonder, it was from a day ago, so I wonder where it'll be in a week from now. To me, just watching that silently, it felt a little slow. And this is where, if you want to talk about short strategy, I would say make your video absolutely as long as it needs to be and no longer. You can make shorts that are just a couple seconds. You know what I mean? Like you can go as short as possible. And there was the flying up to him. Was that part needed? Maybe there's suspenseful music. So maybe the answer is yes. We couldn't hear it because we muted it. But everything that goes into a short, I mean, ruthlessly cut these down because what you want, Like that bit at the end where he broke into pieces, if that video was a lot shorter, people would have seen that and shaken their heads and go, wait, what happened? And they might even let it loop to see it again. And that's where you get the retention over 100%. So this channel is going directly after shorts. It looks like they have a pretty clear upload schedule because we're seeing the same set appear in these thumbnailed videos.
Dan, this is all content from the last week.
Yeah. And
so
you can tell it's not super hard to make so there's something going on here that, and I think sound effects are playing a role as well. This is one of those moments where I look at it, I'm go, yes, like this is what I'm trying to explain to people with shorts. Like this is what you have to do, something unique, something that no one else is doing in Minecraft, you know? So I can't give this channel advice on what to do better. They're crushing it.
I would also add as well, because I think Jake Feldman talked about this in his talk at VidSummit. In terms of a publishing schedule, you don't necessarily have to worry about publishing a video on shorts and allowing it to breathe to get the velocity or whatnot. Just post as much good quality content as you can as regularly as possible. I mean, Jake does it once a day, but I know people like I know his surname is Davidson. I can't remember what his first name is, but I think he posts like 3 or 4 videos a day. There's Dental Digest, who posts multiple videos on a regular basis as well. So this creator is relentless. They know what they want to create with every single video. They know who their audience is because the titles are all very similar, and they're just going to keep. It's almost like a production factory style of content right now, but I'm guessing, as you say, Dan, they're probably relatively easy to make, and they've probably set up a template where they put these characters in this little pen and see what happens, which is really curious.
Yeah, they have a very solid strategy here. So what this creator needs to do is pay attention to their analytics. And like I was saying earlier, when you're noticing your shorts getting views right away, like from browse, I want you to test the same exact video, but widescreen. Try it out, see if that brings in your audience from browse, and now you're building up watch time that will translate into monetization. And eventually, you may not even need to publish on the short shelf.
So these videos are all exactly the same, where they approach something
and break it into pieces.
So there is some music playing, some like happy comical music, and then it just gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what's interesting is that's just one of many Minecraft mods that can manipulate mobs like that. So once they go through all the mobs and doing that, they can make the same exact video but with a different mod, you know. And now when they hit it with a sword, it'll do something else.
Very cool stuff from Stone as a Minecraft channel who's finding his success on a platform. We're looking at Earth to Mars, lifestyle, personal development, productivity. What are we seeing here, chaps?
So this is that personality test thing you can take where you're like an INTJ thingy-mabobber. And it looks like I like some of this because I like the personality subtypes and the workshop. Like this is actually really interesting because that's a personality test where you're given some type of well, it's a bunch of letters and stuff. It's supposed to tell you more about your personality type. And immediately after you take that test and you're given this and they kind of explain what it is, the next thought, at least for me, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people, is, okay, well, what does that mean? And what does that mean for the rest of my life? And how do I use that in my daily life? And this is kind of a way of doing that and saying, how to level up your life if you're this, and who you might get along with. It's very interesting stuff.
I think content formats around, especially the Myers-Briggs. First of all, Myers-Briggs is absolutely massive. So you're tapping into a huge global movement, lots of people that are interested. Some people are discovering it for the first time. But in addition to what you're doing here, that looks like it has some pretty good momentum and traction. When I say content formats, it's thinking outside of the box of the types of videos that you could make. And I'm not sure if you do the following, but here's what you could learn from. There's a lot of memes in Myers-Briggs. And so sometimes like there'll be an Instagram carousel and they'll be like, if you're an INTJ, you can relate to these 8 memes or something. There's also a lot of videos that are like famous INTJs or something or whatever. And what I would be recommending is you potentially continuing to do what you're doing, building up your brand as far as advice, success through college, practical tips. That's more literal and direct. And it seems what you're doing. That if you put together some of these videos, they could be viral. We did the Think Media team leadership retreat last year. We did Enneagram and we did Myers-Briggs, and we all put together little PowerPoints so we get to know other people on the team. And I was fascinated. I forget, but it was whatever I am in Myers-Briggs. It was like Oprah is also, and like King David from the Bible. I'm like, how would they know that? But like, I was like, Google, and I got really into it. And I was watching YouTube videos of people were describing your personality types. So you're typing into trends, or rather, influence. You're typing into like fame, but people want to know like who else is like you or whatever. And then it's also the meme side is the comedy side. There's been trends throughout the years, like ish people say or whatever. And it would be like, you're an INTJ if, and you could almost potentially create skits. So I'm just kind of throwing ideas at you that actually could spread because they start being shared. Is your content shareable? Oh my gosh, this video just completely oh, this is just like Sarah. People start sharing it. And a lot of people are having success with that. YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, somebody will INTJs be like, and it's like just a bunch of clips of how that personality type would act. So I think that in addition to what you're doing, experimenting with some different content formats, which might stretch you creatively to put together some of that storytelling and some of those compilations or some of that research, I think the ROI, the return on investment on the other side of that could be massive.
And then thumbnails, more start of a PowerPoint presentation and more personal, more approachable, more, I guess, as Dan suggested earlier, a bit more shouty in like expressing the message in the thumbnails.
I
assume everyone just agree with what I said then.
Yeah, it's especially the ones with the white background and it's kind of with the thumbnail wallpaper going on there. There's certain ones I like that do exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, those look like the beginning of a PowerPoint, which maybe they are. Maybe that is like the first scene of a live stream or something.
In which case, they need to create a custom thumbnail that's more appealing to grab that person into the video.
The dealing with toxic people thumbnail is great. A thought, I don't know if you were taking that photo with your eyes looking at the selfie screen just to make sure it was in focus, but at the last minute there, you may want to move your eyes towards the lens because it looks like you got the great shot composition. Clearly you went to the corner of the room, nice yellow background, good window lighting. That's a great example of like the power of a thoughtful thumbnail using window light, using an area, an ideal area of even the wall's still busy. There's a cord on the wall. There's a little photo, but that's mostly cropped out. She's using the blank place where she then puts text later. So if you're watching this, where in your house or where in your office could you maybe recreate really good lighting because it's natural lighting. You don't need to invest in anything to get that. But yeah, potentially move your eyes at the last moment there. And then the Hacks for College one at the top there as well is another one. Sharp photo, couple emojis, and the 3 words are the keyword. I don't think you even need that little white because I can't even read the font in the left hand corner, like these things, but that's insinuated, I would assume. So college success hacks, another great use of, it looks like that's probably the same yellow wall, but because of the filter it used, it's nevertheless minimalist area that allows the words to pop.
One more question. Channel focus. So we got these INTJ personalities and then dealing with toxic people. Best luggage from Australia. Huh?
Whoops.
It did well.
And it did well. That's what's a little worrying.
What's the promise on the about page, or what's her?
So I guess it's that lifestyle. It's that I'm going to talk about these really focused things, but then if I want to, I'm just going to talk about these other things.
Anything. I mean, if it's part of life, I'm going to talk about Myers-Briggs, college, and life. So anything that fits under that. But I'm somewhat joking because to me it still kind of works. If I just challenge that a little bit, because I would preach the same advice, Rob.
Sure.
But alternatively, part of your niche is actually just knowing the person you're talking to. Your niche could be probably the female, the college student you're talking to. And if you know who you're talking to, because even that luggage did pretty well. Now, maybe 2 weeks, maybe it did well from search and external traffic. But if that person is in college, needing to travel, thinking about their personality test, thinking about their professional life, it still means that you got to be focused in your branding, because some videos might fall outside of that. But nevertheless, if you understand the psychology of the person you're talking to, videos that seem like they could be off brand could be exactly on brand, because you understand that audience and what they're interested in.
All right, then. That is Earth to Mars. This has been Rob, Sean, Travis, Dan, and I think we are approaching the end of this week's live stream. Sean, as always, it's been an absolute privilege to have you on with your very wise words. I was delighted to hear you say pretty much at the very beginning, success leaves clues, make part twos. I just love it whenever you say that. And in my head, I always add the little parentheses, just don't put part two in a title, which is a little joke we had with Heather when she was on. Just remind us again, Sean, where we can find you on a daily basis.
Yes. If you type in the word Think Space Media, you can see it on the screen. Think Media. We're there for you. And if you want to level up your editing, level up your camera gear, find some budget accessories to improve your current production. And we have some deep dive tutorials. Nolan on the team has he has a 2-hour, it's basically like a free Final Cut online course.
Yeah.
We have a deep dive on Adobe Premiere. We're working on other softwares as well. And so we just want to be a resource with you to help you make better content. And if I was to let you level up one thing right now, if you go Think Media Background, Rob, could you put that actually in the search bar? If you go like Think Media Background, it's I'm forgetting what the name of the video is. But this particular video, amazing studio background you need to know about. Again, if you even look at the thumbnail, I want to encourage everybody, little by little, level up your thumbnails, level up your photography. And you could achieve the look of that thumbnail, whether it's a picture of Heather or myself or Omar, you can achieve it with a smartphone if you start to invest in lighting. And so you could kind of go down the rabbit hole of that, and that'll make your videos pop. If you don't get that initial click, if you don't get that initial attention from the viewer, if people don't stop the scroll, well, then your video on the other side of that is not even going to be seen. So we have lots of stuff on the channel, but I really encourage you, that's maybe a thought of the day, level up those thumbnails, level up those design skills, level up that photography.
I want one of these backdrop roller things, but you have to drill it into the ceiling. And because I'm in a rented apartment, I can't do that. And it's just,
you can patch it. You could
yeah. I've tried to hack it and it just hasn't worked in the past, but maybe I should try and give it another go. But there, and I think that's only $100, right? From what I remember on Amazon, one of them.
100%. And then, but it's, if you go white background or piece of paper, and actually gray is the better color. Gray paper roller. And hey, another hack, Rob, though, is just tape it up. Just get a gray piece of paper, tape it up. But the cost is going to be in RGB lighting. You're going to want some kind of an RGB light panel. And now you can turn that gray piece of paper that you tape up on the wall or paint your wall gray. That's what I did at our Seattle offices, which is a home office in Seattle. Just the wall is gray. Now, any RGB light that you shine on it, your background could be pink, it could be blue, it could be green. And so once you have that set up, you have a lot of versatility. So you can create whatever thumbnail necessary for whatever it is you want to do.
Or in Travis's case, you just use a Zoom background. Yeah, there we go.
And that's
I think that logo, I think I've realized that just needs updating, that logo, Travis. So that's the old school one that we're seeing, the retro one. I think it's time now that we should say goodbye to our amazing community. That includes iFlix, Good Stream Faux Show. I agree with that. Who else are we going to say goodbye to? If you say goodbye, I'm going to put you on the chat now. I'm also going to say goodbye to Gekko. I'm going to call you. Of course, we can't audit every single channel. Just to give you a bit of backdrop here, we've had 530 submissions this week. So that's why I recommend you bring up your channel on another screen and you can sort of compare how yours is to the ones that we're talking about. I'm going to say goodbye also to Silver Snake Designs. Also goodbye to Micah's Intellectual Corner. Dan, say goodbye to some of our lovely folks here.
I'll say goodbye to Calvin. We'll see you later. Mobile Chaos. We'll see you later. How about Smithino? Maybe something like that. Schlaxy. And yes, Kit Gaming. See you later.
And Travis, it's your turn. Who we saying
All
goodbye
right.
to?
Let's see. Raymond Parker's there. We got what is it? Oh, thanks. DK. We'll say goodbye to DK there. Appreciate you. That's what I do on my live stream when I can't pronounce the name. Sir Lee. Appreciate you, Sir Lee. And Jamaica Express TV. I love the name.
And Sean, last but not least, who are you saying goodbye to?
Goodbye, braids for Francine. And she says, see you all next week. That's the smart move, man. Same time, same place next week. And goodbye, them, Elis. Thanks for the info. Absolutely here to help. And goodbye to the king of slime. 6 or 7 buys there. So King of Slime, appreciate you. Thanks for being here today.
Dan, what have we got on tomorrow?
We are going to be chatting about one thing you talked about earlier, which is you mentioned how to get more views per hour. I want to talk about that. We're going to talk about those tools specifically and how to level up your content.
Brilliant. We'll see you at 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. If not, we'll see you next week for the Tuesday Channel Audit live streams. Sean, we'll see you again very soon. In the meantime, keep creating. Just press record. Bye for now.